Hi Crafty peeps, it's Kat. In today's video I'm swatching a bunch of my pastes, but not in the way you'd think. Instead of swatching on regular cardstock and then guessing how each paste will look on different colored backgrounds, I'm putting them on acetate. That way I can instantly overlay my paste swatches over any card base and see the real color combo in seconds. No more surprises, no more this looked better in my head situations, and I'll even show you how to take it one step further with your stencils. I have to say I went down a bit of a rabbit hole on YouTube trying to see if anyone else was swatching pastes on acetate, but surprisingly I couldn't find anything, so I don't know, I think I invented something entirely new here. Let me know if you guys have seen this before on YouTube or elsewhere. As you can see, I have a bunch of pastes in my basket here, and most of them are from Hurley line, but I also have a couple of outliers. We'll test them all today. You will need something to spread the paste and something to help you get into the jar to get that paste out. If you don't have a scraper, you can use an old gift card, and you'll need acetate, of course. Before we begin, I want to show you how to properly angle your scraper so that the whole process is easy peasy. If you hold it perpendicular to the surface, you'll just end up scraping the paste away pretty much entirely. So instead, you need to hold it at the smallest possible angle to your surface. This will ensure that you're spreading your paste evenly. The closer you can get it to your surface, the better. I have secured a piece of acetate to a scrap of printer paper for easier cleanup, and I'm just gonna grab a little blob of paste and put it on one side of my acetate panel. This is your standard A2 size, by the way, but you can cut your acetate to any size you like. And I will quickly clean my tools in between to avoid cross-contamination. Baby wipes work amazingly for this, but a wet paper towel will do just fine too. Then I'm going to get a little blob of my second color and put it on the opposite side of my acetate. It's far enough from the gold where the colors don't touch, but close enough so that I can spread both colors in one go. Then I will go in with my scraper and will hold it at the smallest angle I can manage and will press it into the paste and drag down the panel. I will do a couple of passes here to get the paste nice and even. You don't want any bold spots, but you also don't want it super thick because then it will just take forever to dry. If you have a lot of paste left on your scraper, you can carefully scrape it off with a spatula and put it back into the jar. Once I'm happy with my results here, I will carefully unstick my acetate from the printer paper and will put it aside to dry. And then, so that I'm not too wasteful, I will fold that same piece of printer paper in half and will attach a new acetate panel to it. I do like Hurley pastes quite a bit. There's some really good variety that this line offers. Like the first two pastes that we swatched were Lunar pastes, and those show up pretty much as you see the color in a jar. But then there's also Astro paste, which is glitter, and Solar paste, which are probably my favorite out of the bunch. They create absolutely stunning effects on dark cardstock. So here I'm just repeating the process of putting two colors side by side. You might not see much on white once I spread the paste because of how they show up. They're pretty subtle on white, but I'll show you at the end how the swatches just pop on black or darker colors. I'm doing two colors at a time to speed up the process instead of doing it one by one, but you could probably squeeze a third color in here to make it even faster. You could divide your panel into three using a ruler and a marker to help you stay within the lines. Here, as you can see, the effect is pretty subtle. It's like an iridescent pink and green, but just stick around until the end. Now let's step it up a notch. I have here one of my favorite stencils and I'm gonna do a full panel swatch of the pattern. So I'm putting my acetate panel right on top of the stencil and I'm taping it down right to the stencil itself. Then I will flip the whole thing so that the acetate is now underneath and I'll tape it to the scrap of printer paper so that it doesn't move around. Then I'll take some of the ester paste, which is the glitter one, and we'll spread it on top of my stencil. I'm not sure why, but both my silver and my gold ester paste have this weird texture of like a squishy marshmallow. I don't know if that's normal. They dry just fine like they're supposed to. I'm just not sure what the deal is with the texture. Those of you who have those pastes in your arsenal, can you let me know if you run into the same thing with these? As I'm spreading this paste, you will kind of see that when I try to scrape off the excess by holding the scraper perpendicular, it kind of pulls the paste out of the openings. That's okay, it's happening because acetate is a non-porous surface, so the paste doesn't grab onto it like it would onto a cardstock. So the trick here is to be very gentle with the pressure and to hold the scraper at a closer angle to your surface. I know there will be a bunch of paste left on the stencil, but you can clean it up after you remove your acetate from it. I just scraped it off with a spatula and put it back into the jar. I will peel off my stencil here very, very carefully. Remember, acetate is taped to the stencil from the back, so you need to pay attention to how you're going to be grabbing it so that you don't smudge your pattern. But even if you do, it's not that big a deal. It looks kind of white right now, but once the paste dries, it will be just gold glitter. Okay, so here are all of the dried swatches that I did in the session. None of them are really perfect, but it doesn't matter because we will trim off the uneven bits. And if some of your swatches did not turn out right at all, don't toss them. I'll show you what to do with them at the end. You know, there's some really stunning paste colors here, and my main issue with pastes is that I don't use them enough. They're just sitting in the basket in my closet, and honestly, they're not my first thought or my go-to product when I think about adding texture. But I'm hoping to remedy this situation by having swatches that I can whip out at a moment's notice and see what paste looks best with what color cardstock. Like I said, don't toss the swatches that didn't turn out, you can still put them to use. Okay, so here I want to show you the other two pastes that I have. The Shimmer Relief paste from Alt New worked wonderfully. It was pretty much the same as the Simon Hurley paste. It's not going anywhere no matter how hard you rub it. But Gina K Sparkle Gel did not do so well, unfortunately. First of all, when it dries, it looks kind of like residue, and when you rub it with your finger, it unfortunately comes off. So just keep in mind that this method might not work with every single paste. There are just going to be some that will not do well on acetate. All right, it's time to start trimming these swatches down. I ended up cutting mine to approximately 1¼ by 3¼ in the end. You can make yours as big or as small as you want. The idea here is just to trim off the edges that don't have enough paste or don't have any paste at all. This is just to make it look neater on the swatch ring. By the way, I would save any cutoff strips that are wider than 1/4 inch. You'll see why in a sec. You could use dies, like for example a tag die, to cut out your swatch, but to me personally the trimmer was a much faster alternative. Plus, depending on what kind of thickness of acetate you have, it can be hard to cut sometimes. Once I have all my swatches trimmed out, I'll grab a hole punch and put a hole at one end of each strip. This is so that I can put it on the ring and keep all my swatches together, and also so that I can access them easier. Remember how I told you to keep your bad swatches and cutoffs? I really don't like wasting things if I can help it, so I went ahead and punched out a bunch of circles with the same hole punch from my entire reject pile. You can use these as embellishments on your cards for that extra pizzazz, or you can use them for shakers, which is what I'm planning on doing with them. Alright, so here are all of my swatches on a ring. I think aside from being useful, they also look aesthetically pleasing, at least to me. Now, let's take a look at how I'm planning on using these. Say I have a bunch of different card bases, and I can't decide which color I want to use and with which base. All I need to do is pull out a swatch or two and put it against my base. It's like instant preview for all of the pastes that you have. You know, I'm quite pleased with myself that I thought to do this. But again, if you've seen this before, do let me know where, because I wasn't able to find anything on YouTube. Or if you're dead set on using a particular color of paste, you can easily tell which color of cardstock will work better with it just by putting the swatch against your options. My favorite though is seeing how the solar pastes show up on different colors. On black, they really pop, but if you put it on white, they become really subtle. Or if you put it on yellow, it will be somewhere in between. Guys, if you have some favorite stencils that you use all the time, I would really suggest you try the swatching technique. This is seriously the best way to preview the entire pattern and your color combinations. Your stenciling doesn't even need to be 100% perfect. It just needs to cover enough of an area to give you an idea of the pattern. Like, look how easy it is to decide whether you like the combination or not, right off the bat. And as to the scraps, I went ahead and punched all of them out, and I'm gonna use the confetti for my shaker cards. I sorted mine by color so that I have a mix of plain silver, glitter silver, and so on. And also a bunch of colorful ones. Those would be perfect for birthday cards. Okay, y'all, if you found this video useful, please show it some love by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.